puff passing. It's kinda jarring, I cannot remember why I'm laughing.
2012 was such an insane year. In a good way though. It seems like everything that happened this year was either high energy, experimental, or just flat out unheard of. It's like 2012 was really the party year.
We know the videos about Project X, stop being predictable.
Now that we got that out of the way, it's come to my attention that a lot of you aren't even old enough to remember this year, because for some reason, I have a fan base full of pipsqueaks. So to give a synopsis of what this year was like, and refresh the memories of those who were around at this time, the best way I could say it is, everything that happened this year just feels like
YouTube was mad around that year, you know? That's when I started watching YouTube. I remember when I was in primary school, and my friend, Mark, he was like the middle class. Was it middle class? There's working class, middle class, and high class, right? So he was like the middle class type. One of my middle class friends, right? So he had the computer. He had probably the latest phone that came out. He was kind of like, you know what I mean? He had both of his parents living under the same roof. You know what I mean? Both was working. You feel me? So he would always, like, when it comes to the techie stuff, the computer stuff, I'll be so late to it because I never had a computer. I was too, you know what I mean? Funds weren't there or back at home, you know what I mean? So there was one time I was like, yo, have you heard of YouTube? I'm like, YouTube? What the hell is a YouTube? What is that? I was like, oh no, it's like when people are uploading videos of their own and you can listen to music and you can see funny videos. I'm like, what the you're lying, bro. And that was when I was finishing school. Like, school just ended, and he told me, and I was like, he's chatting rubbish. You know when someone just tells you don't really deep it. And then one weekend I went to his yard, and then he just went on Google, typed in YouTube, and then when I just saw a flooded of thumbnails just on this one screen, I was like, nah, what the fuck is this? What the frack is this, bro? Bro, we was watching YouTube videos all night. Then we got a bit more. We got promiscuous, and then we started going on the 18 plus type of sites, and then you know what I mean. But that's another story for a different day.
Unheard of, and completely took the world by storm. For example, the music. Many songs that got big this year were just about celebrating life. We got straight hits from the likes of Bruno Mars.
Yes.
We were listening to Fun, who had just dropped their project in 2011, only to never drop
days, bro.
again.
I was young, bro. I was like 12, 13. That was probably the best times of my life. Bro, who remember Party Rocking to the house tonight? Everybody just have a good time. Bro, nah, man. You know, life just flies just right in front of your eyes, bro. You one blink, you're already 24. Crazy.
The greatest Latino artist of all time, the legend, none other than Pitbull.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Something in the Spanish. Don't stop the party.
I don't really listen to too much Spanish music in case you guys couldn't tell. But this is what we were listening to around this time. In fact, the biggest new groups to come out around this time were famous for a dance that consisted of them flailing their genitals.
Hey. I just got carried away with myself. Let me relax, bro. I'm out of breath and everything.
Pants. And no one questioned it because it was 2012 and we were having fun. The movies were, at worst,
I want to watch that movie.
It was 2012.
The tiger
and we were having
the tiger
fun.
And the man on
the movies
boat
were, at worst, experimental and at best straight up masterpieces. And you know what else? A New York sports team won something that wasn't there for that 2012 Super Bowl. We weren't always washed. I don't care what your father told you. Can we get a hashtag trade Julius Randle in the comment? One of my theories as to why this year was so jam-packed is because 2012 wasn't supposed to be this way. In fact, 2012 wasn't supposed to be a year at all.
Who remembers what they was doing when that time came? When 2012, was it the 20th, the 22nd or the 24th? Around December time. I still need to watch that movie, actually. I still haven't watched it. I was too scared to watch it, bro. I couldn't do it. I was too... Bro, you have to think of it. I was young, bro. 15, 6, 13. I couldn't do it, bro. I was too scared to watch that movie. But I might have to watch it now. I might have to watch it. I remember at the time when it was supposed to happen. 2012 was supposed to happen. I was playing Black Ops. Yeah, I was playing Black Ops with my boys online. I was happy then. So if that was to happen, I was in my happy place. Bro, Black Ops back in the day. Oh. Nah, I'm going through nostalgia. This is when I got my nostalgia moment, and now I'm just reminiscing, thinking, damn, bro. Our childhood was class, bro. Bro, the guys that are born in 2010, 2011, 2015, yeah, you've missed... No, man. You lot already born into phones. Yeah, no, your childhood is gone, bro. The 2000 was the year.
Because we all thought that the goddamn world was gonna end. Yeah, true story. Because some fucko decided that he wanted to make a movie called 2012, scaring us into thinking that the world was gonna end a few years later. And this is before YouTube conspiracy theorists were written off as woke and considered idiots. So you gotta understand, even the older, more competent people believed that the world was going to end. But it didn't! And so I think the world just felt the need to celebrate, have fun, and above all, party. So it's only fitting that this is the year that we got the best party movie ever made. Ladies and gentlemen, and whatever you identify as at this point, I pretty much lost count. Project X.
Hey.
Project X is a film about a really good party. That's it, and it's legit one of my favorite movies. When this film was teased back in 2011, the internet went crazy. We've gotten party movies before, but this one was different because unlike other party movies, there isn't a huge subplot. It isn't a high school or college movie that just happens to have a big party scene in it. No, the party is the highlight. The party is the hype. The party is the movie. And a movie like this,
apparently,
seldom
I heard that on set when they was recording this, bro, the party was going on like on set for a whole week. People was there for a whole week and a bit, bro. The party would not stop. Music would just keep on playing for the whole week. Everyone was just partying. Some people didn't even want to go home. They was literally sleeping there. Dedication.
Done before. So without further ado, let's talk about it. Tell you guys what I like, maybe what could have been better, and overall, why I not only think this movie is great, but deserves to be remembered. Man. So we meet our main lead, Thomas, whose parents are leaving for the weekend. His parents tell him that he's only allowed to have a few friends over, but that's it. Yeah, not gonna happen. But at the time, we don't know this. His mother is especially worried about him staying home alone for the weekend, but then his father has to genuinely vocalize his doubts about his son doing anything too heinous because his son is a loser. His words, not mine. Watch it for yourself.
This is Thomas we're talking about. He's not exactly Mr. Popular.
What is that supposed to mean?
I'm just saying that he's not that type of kid. You know, he's got a couple of friends. They're going to hang out, but they're not going to do anything. He's a sweet kid, but he's a loser.
And we have our other protagonists, JB, Dax, and Costa. JB is the typical overweight nerd trope. Quiet, awkward, nerdy, down for whatever. He's cool, I guess. Dax, who really doesn't talk that much, if at all, and you only get to see him once throughout this entire movie because he's the person filming. One important thing to note about this film is that a lot of it is done in a found footage style. So a lot of these scenes, especially the ones that are done in the beginning, are recorded in a vlog style from the perspective of Dax. So that's pretty much his purpose.
I remember watching this film the last time I was watching this film before I started YouTube. This what inspired me to record my parties. Literally this movie here made me want to record my parties, bro. And do vlogging and all that, because the way they just execute it, I'm like, nah, I need to get me a piece of that, man. We need to get a piece of that, man.
Being here is to record.
The way they just made it look too fun, bro. So I had to do it myself.
What are we gonna do? Alright, here's what we're gonna do for him. Take like 10 of the most assholic individuals you've ever met, blend them all into one, and they still wouldn't be a quarter of the fuck nigga that Costa is.
I had hoes blowing me on the reg. My dick is gonna get so wet tonight.
Excuse me.
And of course, in my culture, I've been a man since my 13th birthday.
They get to school and everyone's talking about this fever dream of a party. Everyone got laid. Even the students with physical disabilities were able to score something.
Is it true what I heard about you at Zam's party last week? You got a blowjob from his mom? That party was so sick. Everyone got laid. You know, wheelchair Robert even got a hand job.
Did I mention how this movie probably wouldn't be able to come out now? So our main leads decide that they need to throw a party of their own because they are nobodies.
Yeah, imagine. I wonder how it would look like now. Project X2. Bro, it's probably gonna be some. Nah, man, bro, it has to be its authentic self, bro. Like it was #1, but yeah, things that come out back in the day. And then when they remake it around this society, it just doesn't hit, does it? No, it doesn't. No.
It's not just about being at a good party, but if you can throw one, you can truly be immortalized. Like 70% of this motivation comes from Costa, but everyone else is kind of just down for it too, you know? And I feel like that's kind of what makes this dynamic entertaining. Like, yeah, Thomas and JB want to be cool, and Dax kind of just literally doesn't say anything. But Costa's kind of just the guy that's putting everything into perspective, like, nah, man, like, we can do this. Back in Queens, I used to score all the holes with my parties. And whether he's lying or not, which he most likely is, it makes sense for him to be the driving force that's pushing people to take action towards making a party happen. You also can't really say that he's forcing anyone to do anything, because the other main leads want this party to happen too. But if shit eventually does hit the fan, you can't really feel bad for any of them. So they decide, no more talking, let's make it happen. They go out, buy supplies for the party, send out invites, one of which went to Miles Teller, who's just at the grocery shop chilling.
Holy shit, dude. It's Miles Teller.
My tell, what's cracking, bro? We go to North Pass.
Listen, Miles, we're having a little soiree at my place tonight.
Soiree.
Swing by.
Dickens Street?
Yeah.
That's your party? You guys are throwing that? That's
Yeah.
where I'm going at. I heard it's
dude,
gonna be fucking crazy, bro.
That's my party. I mean, I'm Thomas Cub. It's my birthday today.
Yeah, no, I heard it's gonna be like unlimited high school pussy and shit.
Dude, high school pussy for days.
Why?
school
Then they go to
pussy.
some drug dealer that Costa knows about, go inside of his residence, hits weed from him. Then Costa starts humping his gnome, and then they steal it. More on this later.
Out of all
Then they get
things,
chased
they
by
steal the
drug
gnome.
dealer. Lose him. Get chased again.
Oh, Jesus
Get the
Christ.
minivan windshield broken. Hire
Jesus
questionable security for the party, to say the least. The hell these little niggas doing? They like 13 and
G-Shock is bigger than his
like me
whole
the
body,
least.
bro.
The hell these little niggas?
G-Shock is bigger than his whole body, bro. Why does the G-Shock look stronger than him, bro? Oh
They
no!
like 13 and built like me. Inform some of the neighbors that there's gonna be loud noise, hit a little pregame, and party's on. Well,
Class.
at least not at first. They kind of get a little worried about people potentially not showing up. But
Yeah.
they eventually.
Every event promoter goes through that, bro. Sometimes you'll be worried for 30 minutes and then hang! Swarm of people just come into your party. But then there'll be times where you'll be worrying and then worrying and then worrying until the party ends. The attendance of the party, only 5 people. It happens to the best of us, bro. It happens to the best of us.
do, which is a little unrealistic considering that they're lame niggas in school. Even me being in high school, I'm not gonna say I was like completely lame, but I feel like if I were to invite people to a party, more teachers would probably show up than students. And not the ones that tell you to stay after class for being a bad boy. But yeah, 30 minutes into the movie and we pretty much have the entire setup. No deep characterization needed, no extensive character motivation needed. Just the idea, the setup, and the party. This is where the movie truly starts. Now I could go scene for scene like I've been doing so far, but I don't really want to do that. I don't want to ruin the entire movie for you guys. I still think you should go watch it. Instead, what I'm going to do is talk about the things that I really like in this movie. Starting with... the way this movie is shot is so unique and amazing, man. They opted for a combination of traditional cinematography and found footage. This is such a good idea because it literally makes you feel like you are a part of this party. It's chaotic, it's high energy, and most importantly, it's raw. You could show these scenes to random people and really convince them that this was from a party that actually happened. The way the cameras are shaky, the jump cuts reminiscent of something that was edited on DaVinci Resolve. It all adds to the realism.
Bro, this makes me want to go back,
feel like an experience. I love when movies can embrace imperfections for the sake of creating an authentic experience. It feels amateur and yet so refined at the same time. It made so much sense to me when I found out that the director, whose name I'm not even gonna attempt to pronounce, had a background in directing music videos. It really shows in this movie. And I think this was a brilliant choice because, as I said before, you're not watching Project X for the writing or the character development. In fact, in all honesty, these components of the film are cliche and lackluster. But the way they approach these visuals truly makes this movie completely worth it in my opinion. There's so many iconic scenes in this movie because of this too, man. My favorite personally being that police scene, which, once again, I'm not gonna go into too much detail over. I think you guys should just go watch that yourself. It's truly peak cinema. This combined with the film score made of original and 2000s early 2010s classic party jams, what more do you really need? Damn, I kinda didn't really mean to start talking about that off rip, kinda had that for a segment in and of itself. But yeah, the soundtrack, really good. The song choices were perfect, the songs were played at the right moments, and this becomes evident later on in the party where shit eventually starts to take a turn for the worse. The song choices towards the end of this party are so good at conveying the sheer chaos that the party has broken into, while at the same time slowing down a little bit just for you to put into perspective the severity of the situation. It truly succeeds in making you realize that, damn, our main character's fucked up. But once again, more on that later. The other thing that I really love about this movie is the comedy. Now let me just preface this by saying, yes, this comedy might not be everyone's cup of tea, but I'm a dumbass 20-year-old that laughs at degenerate shit. I'm sorry, it's just one of the forms of comedy I like. So if you guys are anything like me, I think you'll have
every teenager needs to watch this, bro.
Like, just watch this scene.
Fine, fuck it. I'm calling the fucking cops.
Shit, nigga!
I'm sorry, this shit is funny, and the way that this movie and this scene specifically is filmed just amplifies the comedy. Now you guys might not have found that funny by itself, but once again, if you watch the film and get the context surrounding why that happened, you would laugh. Trust me. I know, listen, I know I'll be saying a lot of crazy shit. I know you guys probably don't trust me because I'm just some random dude on it. I'm telling you, you will laugh at this movie at least 5 times. Your uncle, your grandpa, all of them will probably laugh at this movie at least 10 times. Now, I'm not gonna lie, if you got strict parents, if you have a strict
the random gifs that just comes up.
Aunt, uncle, sister, cousin, I don't know. Just, I wouldn't recommend showing them this movie. But if it was on in your room one day and they just happened to walk in and they saw some of the things that were transpiring on that screen, I ain't gonna lie, I think they'd laugh. Now that we've talked about what I like about the movie, as insane as this film is, I'm sure you guys have one question in the back of your head. How does it end? Quick spoiler warning, if you don't want to be spoiled, click off right now. Come back after you watch it, please.
I've already watched it though. Well, fuck it, let's go.
I'm not gonna lie, let's talk about it together. But for now, click off. But I'll let you know right now, things take a turn for the worse, to say the least. The party gets too crazy for Thomas to handle, and he's bummed out. But he eventually gets to the point where he's just like, fuck it, there's nothing I can do. If you can't beat him, join him. A news helicopter shows up to broadcast just how insane this party has gotten. Let's not forget that this party was initially just
knowing me, if I was to throw a party and it gets out of hand and I'm at a position where, oh shit, this is too much. This is out of my power. I can't fix this. What should I do? And I'm like, fuck it. Let me just join them because I can't beat them. Let me fucking join them, bro. I will be partying, but the back of my mind, I'll just know when my mom comes back home, I'm gonna be on my knees holding a heavy object over my head for probably 24 hours. Bro, I'm gonna get Dunskies. And that's gonna ruin my party, my how'd you call it? My party flow, bro. I won't be able to flirt with the babes because I know my mom's gonna come. I won't be able to, you know what I mean? But I'll still be, I'll be dancing with a straight face, like, just thinking like, oh fuck, what is my mom gonna do when she sees this, bro? My head will be so gone.
Something that was held in his backyard, but as we know, things escalated way past that, and the whole neighborhood showed up to the fucking party. So Thomas ends up on top of his roof, flips off the news helicopter, then due to peer pressure from all the people at his party, jumps off of the roof onto a bouncy house, sticks the landing, followed by JB, who proceeds to do the same thing, but he's fat and lame, so he ends up breaking his finger. It is not too long after this that some person of short stature, y'all ain't gonna get my ass, who earlier in the movie was put in the oven by a bunch of people at the party, eventually got out and goes on a spree punching random people in the nuts. But he wasn't just satisfied with that. He somehow gets a hold of the keys to Thomas's parents' Mercedes and drives it into the fucking pool. Costa finally admits that he doesn't know how to fix any of this shit that transpired at this party. And on top of police already being outside to contain the sheer insanity of how far this party went with flashbangs and smoke bombs. Remember that drug dealer from earlier? Yeah, he comes back with a fucking flamethrower and starts burning down the town. Because remember that gnome that Costa was humping and then stole? Turns out that gnome was filled with ecstasy that eventually became property of Project X. Then police start shooting him with rubber bullets, which in my opinion, if you're burning down a neighborhood, I think we're a bit past the rubber bullet phase, but hey. Oh, never mind, he ends up blowing up. Enemy felled, I guess. The neighbor from earlier gets attacked by the frail Secret Service, and that concludes the night. We then end up on some random track field with our main characters, realizing that they fucked up, but
the dog is still alive though.
Because according to Costa, whatever happens, that was one hell of a night. Don't keep company like Costa got. Thomas's parents come back. His father's understandably pissed off about the fact that his house is uninhabitable, and explains to Thomas that it's going to be very expensive to fix what he's done, and his college fund is definitely off the table. Personally, I think comparing neighborhood arson and house damages to a college fund is either really insane or insanely symbolic. But surprisingly, his dad kinda gets optimistic about the whole thing. No, not because things aren't as bad as they seem, at least on a physical level, but because his son, who earlier on in the film that he called lame, was able to throw such an amazing party. But he reminds him that he's still fucked as his Mercedes-Benz is being pulled out of the
in a Mercedes-Benz.
Archie gets back to school to explain how fucked they all are.
I have Mercedes inside a Mercedes.
Looking at least 6 charges.
You know that I just want to be my baby.
Crying, and they live in a courtyard Marriott. JB says that his parents are convinced that the incident is going to mess up his college plans, to which Costa interjects to remind him that it's probably his grades that are going to fuck up his college plans. Because remember, guys, JB is a dumbass. And Costa, I'm not even going to repeat what he said about his situation. I think you guys should just watch the movie, or if you do know what he said, leave it in the comments. I ain't uploading 2 months. I ain't going to risk my video getting taken down now. Then they ask Dax about his situation, and he explains that he doesn't have any family, so I guess he can't.
Why is he looking at the camera like that,
then,
bro?
He didn't really do
Bear
shit.
flare in his nose.
The frail Secret Service and everyone at that party who did hardcore drugs are probably more guilty than Dax, if I'm being honest. But it's okay, because they finally got what they wanted. Everyone at the high school finally acknowledges them. Everyone at the high school thinks they're cool. And really, that's the end of Project X. Wait, technically it's not really the end. I forgot to mention some stupid plot point where Thomas and this girl have a little love dynamic going, and earlier on in the movie he was gonna go fuck some other girl, so his love interest Kirby, who is honestly just one of the bros, ends up finding out, and now he has to make up with her or something. I don't really give a shit about that plot point. Then we get a little TV segment with Costa, and the movie gives us a little where are they now on the main characters. Which I know we're in the spoiler segment of the movie, but I'm still not going to spoil it, because once again, I think you guys should go watch this movie yourselves. And that was Project X. Now, is this movie good in a traditional way that we consider most movies good? Absolutely not.
What?
But I still love this movie, and a lot of other people love this movie.
Everyone loves it, bro.
You can probably imagine that when this movie was released, critically, it did pretty bad. Critics thought it was crude, degenerate, and overall just stupid. In a lot of regards, they're not wrong. But box office wise, this movie did pretty good. It was a complete success financially, especially because the budget wasn't that high for this movie. And in my eyes, this movie overall was a huge success. Because years later, people still talk about it. To this day, this movie still gets talked about and referenced. In fact, to this day, people still try to recreate the events of this movie. Unsuccessfully, of course. How many college parties have you been to when they called it Project X, Project X, Project X? None of them shits is Project X. But the fact that this movie even set that
they got too much
standard
rules,
for
bro.
influenced by it so much truly speaks
Bro,
volumes.
the
Regardless
Project
of what critics say,
the Project
most
X
people
after the
tend
Project X.
to look back on.
Bro, I just can imagine there's hella rules, bro. Probably security guards. No, it won't be like the movie where there's hella drugs. Do you know what I mean? Carl in the pool, little man hitting everyone's balls. You know what I mean? Bro, that's not gonna happen, bro. It's just gonna be a good old nightclub with dark lights. You know what I'm saying? You have to pay for your drinks.
It is with great confidence that I can say I've never seen any movie quite like Project X.
It's sick to
man, I gotta say,
promote your part like that,
this movie
though.
truly took me down memory lane and made me realize there's a bigger picture in all of this. Which is crazy because the first time I watched this movie was actually like 3 years ago. But there's a reason why this film is so ubiquitous with pop culture. Because this movie just gets it. It understands what it is and plays its purpose to a T. I feel like simplicity in film has become somewhat of a lost art.
Yeah,
I miss the days when movies didn't have to have a profound message or be littered with 200 subliminal messages to be considered good. Sometimes I feel like the standard for movies are movies that you have to watch like 20 times in order to get a fundamental grasp on what you just watched. And that's not to say that today's films lack quality or even creativity. In fact, in a lot of regards, films in late years have been pushing the boundaries of what a great film can be more than ever. And I love deep layered films, but there's a certain charm
my type of films
to
I love.
simple films. And I feel like they just don't really make these type of films anymore. Whether you are on a journey with a young kid whose family left him and he has to learn to be self-sufficient for the first time.
them type of movies, bro.
Or simply just being immersed in the anticipation of how a man is gonna spend $30 million in 30 days with Brewster's Millions. Let's not forget that something does not always have to be deep and layered.
I am going to watch that because that sounds class. Bro, I'm getting into my classical movies now, bro. Not 2 days ago, a week ago, I watched Baby Boy. What's that film? Green Street. 2 days ago, I watched Green Street. Bro, Green Street is class, bro. Where's your famous GSA? Where's your famous GSA? Forever blowing bubbles.
To show you, but let's be honest, majority of people are fucking dumb. Nah, I'm just kidding. Kinda. It feels like what all people want to do nowadays is just take every single good thing from every single good movie and just mash it together in one, and they think it's gonna be a masterpiece. They think it's gonna be appreciated by everyone. It's like you get a sandwich and then you just put oxtail, mustard, relish, grape Kool-Aid.
What the frick, right?
Grape Kool-Aid. Top it off with like a PS5 and then some cinnamon and then like a Jordan 11, right? All things that people more or less like, and
I'm sure he was the funniest guy in his classroom, innit?
You look at the sandwich,
Jesus
and you're like,
Christ.
damn, why doesn't this shit look good? Why doesn't my sandwich look appetizing? And why is it that when I take a bite and all these good things slap my tongue, I'm not enjoying myself? Because there is beauty in simplicity. Not everything that is good needs to go together. Good and bad can go together and be balanced because it makes a complete product. And variety's just good, man. Variety's good. Sometimes you have to walk through a flower field of simple in order to appreciate the complex flower when you finally come across it. And sometimes you have to walk through a field of complex flowers in order to appreciate the simple flower that's at the end of it. So yeah, fuck your oxtail monstrosity. I'll take a turkey provolone. You know, not everyone's gonna like it. It's not everyone's cup of tea. But it's simple. To a lot of people who aren't used to turkey provolone, it can be considered unique. It's really easy to get into, it's memorable, and will always hold a place in a lot of people's palates. Those who don't get it, don't get it. Those who do, do. And that's okay, because we can like what the fuck we like. And let me just say, I don't blame Hollywood for a lot of these issues with films, because at the end of the day, people vote with their wallets. People always say they want something, but then they'll drop it right in front of their face. But guess what? They're gonna buy a ticket to see some shit that already existed, and they can pretty much guarantee that they're gonna like. No one takes risks anymore. But, yeah guys, that was Project X. I love this movie. I think it deserves to be remembered fondly, and I think it is the greatest party movie ever made. At least so far. I never really watched Superbad. But yeah,
I heard Superbad is good.
Enjoyed.
I need to watch that as well.
Sorry for leaving you guys for like 2 months. I really am. I'm still trying to figure a lot of things out, but expect a little bit
G,
more consistency
that's
from me
life,
from
bro.
now on. And yeah,
Trust
guys,
me.
between you and me, if you guys are planning on throwing a party like Project X, just
Invite
make
me,
sure
please.
I get an invite. I'm not a hard guy to reach. My social medias are literally in the description. I'll even go ahead and bring some drop.
What the fuck?
Following a breakthrough in their career,
Lovely enough, getting money out of the